Hi, it's me, Andrzej. I'm visiting motorcycle showrooms because it's a really good time to buy a motorcycle. I'm looking for deals and hidden gems. This time I'm at the Yamaha showroom. Listen, I'll be reading from a sheet because there are so many models here. Besides, for some models, you can get OCAC NW for just 1 zloty at the moment. But what probably interests you most are simply the current prices, since it's the end of the season. Let's start with the Teneres. There are so many Teneres that you could go crazy, just trying to decide which one you want. We have the Tenere 700, the Tenere 700 Rally, and the World Raid, which has a bigger tank, is more off-road oriented, and then the regular Tenere, the NRE 700. Now things are starting to get interesting here, because the cheapest one I found, get ready, costs 47,000 zlotys. It says here 35 kilowatts. It's great that there are even 2 versions of the Tenere. I haven't seen it. But the cheapest one I found was 47,000, and the most fully loaded one, 500W. This often applies to 2024 models, but remember, when you go to the dealership, make sure to check whether it's a 2024 or 2025 model year, or if it was produced in December or November. And here's the catch. It's the last chance to buy the MT-10 SP and the base model. This motorcycle has been somewhat excluded due to the Euro 5 Plus standards. There are only a few units left. And I'm not going to try to convince you, because with the MT-10, you have to take a ride or talk to someone who rides it. This big bang engine, 4-cylinder, is simply a combination of the torque world of a V engine. And a 4-cylinder screamer that revs up, it's brutally powerful. A totally wild machine, in my opinion, not just for tearing around the city and nearby areas, but also great for longer touring trips. You can put on a bigger windshield, some panniers for the road. Well, for track day riding, sure. For overtaking sport bikes, I don't know, it depends on the rider's skill, but it's definitely a very, very, very characterful machine with semi-active suspension, total luxury. And who knows when we'll see such a powerful naked bike again, just like we don't know when we'll see such a powerful supersport from Yamaha again. It has to appear at some point, but I don't know if it's worth waiting for. The last units of the MT-10 are available in various Yamaha showrooms. As for the MT-09, you can watch my review or read my review. Look, I can even see that we have MT-09, 48,500. Hold on, I'm making a cheat sheet. The promotional price for the MT-09 is 46,500 Polish zloty for the YAMT. Great. And 46,500 for the MT-09, not the YAMT. YAMT means the automated gearbox. Again, you can watch or read my reviews, whichever you prefer. In my opinion, it's a very interesting solution, also being introduced by other manufacturers. So it's a gearbox that can automatically shift gears. If you want to shift manually, you just use your fingers instead of the lever, and then it's pop, 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 done. So it works really well. An interesting fact, which I didn't know before, is that you can get the MT-09 for an A2 license. But what's important is that even if you unlock this motorcycle to its full power, it still has some mechanical restrictions inside. So it's not like you buy it at 35 kilowatts for the A2 license and then unlock it to get the full power. No, it's better to just do it, get your license, and ride the MT-09 at its full potential, because it's an amazing machine. And as you can see, you walk around different showrooms. And for example, here we have a demo vehicle, 2,200 kilometers on the clock, 43,000 zlotys with this automatic gearbox. So it's world class. And this is, for example, such a bargain. Tracers. There's a promotion on the Tracer 9, OCAC NW for 1 zloty. And on top of that, the price is reduced. And again, we have the Tracer 7 GT, although is it still available to buy? Tracer 7 GT, the previous model of the Tracer 7 GT, the new model. Lech rode it and was thrilled. He claimed it's one of the most versatile motorcycles you can buy. And the Tracer 9 GT, Tracer 9 GT Plus, just like with the Teneres, we have a lot of options. All you need to do is take a ride on the Tracer, see if it's your vibe, and then decide what level of equipment you want. Remember that with more equipment comes a bit more weight. The Tracer 9 will be the sportiest and most lively because it has the MT-09 engine, and it's great. The 9 GT Plus has radars, semi-active suspension, and the latest electronics when it comes to cornering, but without traction control. It's a fantastic, brilliantly riding motorcycle, but it already gives you a completely different feel compared to a regular base tracer. So again, it's worth taking advantage of these last few days. Take a ride on such a motorcycle. Looking at the current prices, listen, the 9GT Plus model year 24 with a free central top case is 69,000 instead of 76,000. Tracer 9GT is 62,000 instead of 66,000. Tracer 7 GT with a central top case for 43,000 zlotys, and the previous model year was 38,000 zlotys. So listen, we're getting into prices starting with a 3, and we're talking about Japanese motorcycles with a great reputation and excellent performance. XSR 125, absolutely adorable bikes. In my opinion, one of the coolest 125s out there. Again, it's bigger, so an adult man, a woman, or a tall person still looks good on this motorcycle. You don't look ridiculous on it, like you're riding a toy. A full-sized, great motorcycle that rides really well. XSR9, again, it's the MT-09 in a heritage package. XSR 900 GP. Unfortunately, it's not here. A stunningly beautiful motorcycle. Very, very fast on the track. Surprisingly fast, I would even say. Wow. XSR 700 is 36,000. 1,000 zlotys, XSR 125 for 21, XSR 900 for 46,000 zlotys instead of 51. Listen, these are some really significant discounts. And the XSR 900 GP for 56 instead of 59. Nice. And I'll let you in on something. When you come to the showroom and the motorcycle is on the floor, standing there, from what I know, you can still negotiate these prices a little bit. Awesome. All right, we're entering a place where I'm going to be drooling again, and unfortunately this motorcycle is already sold, so I won't even touch it. R1M. As you can see, these are some of the last units left. And at this point, since we do not know whether this motorcycle will be brought back or if it will appear again in the future, because of course you can still buy it in the track version, it is still available. We do not know if its production in the street version will be resumed. So I would not rule out that this might be the last chance to grab an R1. I don't know, even if you don't want to ride it, you could just put it on a shelf if you can afford it, because it's absolutely beautiful. And maybe it won't lose value? Well, we don't know. I don't think investing in a motorcycle is the most profitable thing, but maybe it's not the worst idea either. Super sporty. There aren't any special promotional prices for them because they just sell out. We're talking about the R9C. There's huge demand for this motorcycle. So far, the availability has been so-so, so this motorcycle will start appearing next year. Again, you can read or watch my review, and most importantly, later in the season, you can come by and decide for yourself if this is the motorcycle for you. I won't hide it personally. If I were to buy a motorcycle for track riding and had to choose between the R9 and the R7, I don't know if I wouldn't go for the R7 and beef it up with a Gitra kit, because the R7, it's a super agile, cool machine that also works well on small tracks. And let's be honest, in Poland, we have more small tracks than big ones. So contrary to what you might think, even if you're considering the R9, it's worth taking the R7 for a spin as well, and vice versa. If you're thinking about the R7, it's worth taking the R9 for a ride, because that's a motorcycle that will definitely give you more satisfaction on the road, thanks to that brilliant CP3 engine. R3, fun ride, racing. She just picked up the new R3, which means the immortal, refreshed model. Here you can already see that the R3 has upside-down forks. A brilliant machine. We once had it in the editorial office for a long-term test. It's a motorcycle that's comfortable. You ride it around the city. It's fast enough when you need it to be. And then you can take it to small tracks, push it hard, and it's just great. It's just such a sweet ride, not too fast. You can go full throttle, shift through the gears. Riding the R is just turbo fun. The 3. Here, a row of scooters. Jesus, how many motorcycles does Yamaha have? Which is cool. Attention, surprise, shocker. Recently, where is that scooter? In a moment, we'll go over to the Razor scooter, because Lechu has prepared this huge comparison of 125s, Japanese, Chinese, and so on, a lineup that we'll be publishing. And there, surprise, Yamaha was the cheapest in the comparison. Shocking, right? Exactly. But if we're talking about scooters, again, we can pick and choose from 125s, 300s, all the way up to the huge, powerful TMAX, and the prices. TMAX TechMax 1.64 thousand zlotys instead of 71. Where's my TMAX? I'll buy it on the spot. There are promotions, though not as huge as for motorcycles, but here I see the XMAX 300 TechMax with a discount of almost 5,000 zlotys, from 32 down to 28,900, so that's also something to talk about. A scooter, I've always said, a scooter, in my opinion, is something every household should have. If someone wants, they can even have a three-wheeled scooter and tackle all the potholes and bumps and feel safe, because that's really what it's all about. And here it is. Razor, 10,500 zlotys for a Japanese scooter. Well, it's a scooter like any other. Scooters are just cool because you walk up, start it, ride off, and that's it. Of course, you might be thinking about NMAX scooters, which already have displays, navigation, and things like that showing up. But everyone decides for themselves what they need. MT-09, we've already talked about those. And the MT-07, as you can see, doesn't have any special price promotions because the base price, in my opinion, is already a blast. 35,900 Polish zloty for the 7, now with the new upside-down suspension, new gauges, and new electronics. You can display a map on the gauges and navigate wherever you want. It's also available with that automatic gearbox. Why IMT? So here we don't have any price promotions. Here it's just the Akok W for 1 zloty, right? And yes, listen, I'm even starting to remember it now. In the end, I'll probably get a job at some motorcycle dealership and start selling bikes here, because why not? Remember, I've been walking around here, my throat is dry, Łukasz is already starting to twitch, thinking about how many cutaways he'll have to do. And there's still an upstairs floor with dirt bikes that they're also on sale. And even when I saw them today, I thought, I don't need more dirt bikes, but I have wheels for a flat tracker. And actually, they'll fit the Yamaha, because now I know, so why would I need another new Yamaha? Because they're in those cool anniversary paint jobs, those white vintage style ones, absolutely world class. 2 SUVs, 4 SUVs, and get this, 2 SUVs, you can snag a 250 for 39,900. 450F, which is the kind of bike I have. Super, super cool. When it comes to motocross, my buddy switched from a 250 because this 450 is so smooth, so powerful, so easy to set up that now he rides a 450. I ride a supermoto like that. Maybe it's time for one for flat track. 43,000 zlotys. Go check out the showrooms because there's a lot to see, a lot to choose from, and plenty to talk about. Talk to the salespeople. No matter what city you live in, go to the nearest showroom. 1, 2, 3, 4, because this might really be a very good time to buy a motorcycle. Bye.